Hello, everyone. This is Troy from the future of when we recorded this podcast. I wanted to give you guys a quick warning that this podcast episode ran into every technical difficulty we could imagine. My internet died, Jeremy's computer crashed, and Jason's washing machine went on a berserk rampage, meaning that in the latter parts, audio quality dropped, especially for me, and there's a little bit of inconsistency. We apologize for the troubles, and we do hope that you still enjoy the episode. We didn't want to re-record because our reactions were so, fresh and off the cuff, and we really like it that way. And it was really near the end. So we pushed through and tried to get it done for you guys. Again, we thank you for listening, and we hope that you still enjoy. Thank you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Baka podcast.
Baka. It's amazing how every time you open your mouth, you prove you're an idiot.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Baka. We're actually not doing an anime podcast today. We're talking about anime, but this is one of our mini-sodes. This is the in-between the actual episodes. And this is where the good stuff lies, because here's where we let our hair down. And one of us has hair long enough to do that now. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to our mini-sode. My name is Troy. Besides anime, I like video games and long walks on the beach. And we're going to be talking about video games tonight, so that's important. I am joined, first off, by the angry to my birds. Jeremy, what's up, man?
I am immersed in Battletech. I can't get out of it. I'm drowning.
Yeah, you and Jason had a lore battle not too long ago, and this is the best nap I've had in a long time.
Hey, what scores did I get? That's right. That's where
you did more damage than me. We're not talking. We're moving on.
Battle.
So we also have the candy to my crush, Jason, the other side of this little coin. How's it going, man?
I'm just wondering why it's your goal every single week to see how you can offend me with this particular topic.
I don't see what's offensive about that highly popular, clearly stolen from another developer game.
Extremely fruity and mostly played by women. No, that's fine. I don't mind.
That's great.
I love Match 3 games. Not that one. No, that one's awful. There's so much better Match 3 games than Candy Crush.
You just called me Candy Crush and then you called me awful. So, you know what?
Oh, oops. Showing all my cards here. Wait, you're doing well? Week. You survived your lore battle with Jeremy?
Yeah.
I disagreed with him. I thought he was inconsistent, but that was just my opinion. So
yeah, if you people think they do this just for the podcast, no, this is real life.
we provide Troy with his own private hell.
That's right. You should have heard us playing Imperial Assault. We went a week. Discussing like two rules.
I've blocked that out.
Well, that was great. I actually contacted the developers, man.
And I said the whole time, can I have my turn now? No, Troy. You have to decide.
We don't know how to play yet.
Troy, your eyes rolled so far they nearly just fell out of your head.
Yep.
Oh, must be where my teenage daughters get it. Okay, so for this mini-sode, we are talking about a second subject that's dear to our hearts, obviously, which is video games, and we're tying it into anime in a way we've never done before. This came from Jeremy, and I think it's inspired by past mini-sodes, so we're definitely kind of feeling the theme, and we're having a lot of fun with it, and I hope you guys are too. So this is animes that we think we could turn into video games. Now, this is obviously done all the time, but this is Jeremy's idea, and he challenged us to take animes and turn them into game types we hadn't seen before, especially for those particular animes. Mm-hmm. So he challenged us to do one for mobile games, one for console games, and one for PC games. And so that is what we are doing. We're going to start off with our mobile games. And Jeremy, go ahead and take it away.
Okay. So my mobile game anime is Attack on Titan, but not from the perspective you might be thinking. Attack on Titan has video games already, console-based, if I understand correctly. But this is nothing like that. Picture a roguelike. You never made it to the walled sanctuary. You just happen to be surviving beyond the walls. Roguelike means you're not going to live very long, and the Titans can kill you. If you encounter them, they're basically insta-death. So the question is, do you survive long enough to make it to the walls and get to the city?
So what are the controls? Touchscreen, obviously, because it's
Yep.
on the phone.
Yep. So it would have very standard roguelike controls where you have an inventory. I would probably make it turn-based and probably have other things in the wilderness that are threats to you. Because it seems like the Titans are drawn to humans. So there would still be other threats.
So kind of a turn-based strategy game where you're trying to move across a large area?
Well, generally with roguelikes, it's really zoomed in. And so you have to deal with hunger and thirst and sleep. And you have to deal with getting sick. You have to deal with not having the resources to continue to live. Maybe you're too cold. Maybe you're wet.
For those of you detecting the delight in his voice, this guy loves games that punish him like that. Are all your games roguelikes?
If you look at my games library, there's a very large percentage that
your anime games for tonight. Are they all going to be roguelikes?
Oh, no, just the one.
And
the reason that a roguelike is well suited to a mobile game is because you can pick it up and you can play it, and you don't expect to live. You're going to die. So you're going to try and get as far as you can, but it's going to be a short play. You can put the mobile device down, and you can pick it back up if you're on the bus or if you're in a place waiting for your wife to shop for something, whatever you want to do. So I think it would be really useful for that. Plus, there's a huge precedent of roguelike mobile games being very successful. So if you could take some ideas from some of them to maybe simplify some of the ideas I had, I think it could be really fun.
Awesome. Jason, what's your mobile game?
My mobile game is a mobile MMO based on the ReZero world. I think it would be fun to be able to pick a class that kind of lived within that world. So it would be separate from like the story itself, but that world. So you would have the different factions, and the main PvP of the world would be battling for control of who's going to be linking with the dragon. And you could work your way up to be like, king of the land or whatever.
Interesting. So how would you handle having the different heroes being selected? Would everybody have like duplicate heroes, or would you have a random hero from a massive roster? Like, how would you handle that?
Oh, no, it would be similar to, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Mobile Legends. So it's you get like a choice of like, I think 3 to 5 different faces, 2 to 5 different body types. And then I think there's like 3 classes. I think there's, fighter, deep, range DPS and healer kind of thing. And then I think on the next layer on top of that would be which faction you picked. And probably for simplicity, it'd probably be really 2 factions with like 3 on each side, so you could pick your color. Basically, that would be the only difference on each side would be what color you are, and who you like. Obviously, like the lady that fought the whale should be green, right? But whatever. So that's kind of how the character creation would go.
God, I mistook what you said. I thought you said Fate Zero, but you said ReZero.
Yeah, ReZero.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay.
So, I have a question. Would it be possible to implement the Subaru's curse onto the character and have a thing where, like, if you died on a quest, you show up back in town exactly as you were before you left on that quest, but you also lost your experience and anything you picked up, but everything's out there waiting for you to go get it again, almost making the quest. Oh gosh, I'm gonna say roguelike.
Yes.
just to put in that theme from ReZero into it.
That would be extremely difficult to do for an MMO. Just because.
Oh, you MMO players are so coddled.
They are.
That's fair. I see what you're saying. So for me, I chose Death Note for my mobile game. And this would be an augmented reality mystery game where you download the Death Note app, and the plot would be that L figured if a new killer ever showed up with Death Note powers, that he'd be gone, and so he created this app to unite all the minds, and they have to work together. And so through the app, you start getting news feeds from the game reality, but you also start getting stuff in your email, and you start getting text from Kira that offer slight clues. And then, like, for a month, 2 months, you go through this plot story while also trying to pick out the clues that it's slowly giving you, and then come to a conclusion at the end of who Kira is and try to catch him. And you know, there's a big anime dating game called Midnight. Oh, my kids played it, but it's augmented reality dating game, right? But it's kind of. No?
Yeah, that must be it.
I'm so sorry, I'm forgetting the name of the game though. But basically, like, you have to have your phone on at certain times in the day to get text messages from the boys and stuff. So that technology exists. So I'd like to see that implemented into the Death Note world and kind of have this cool AR mystery, which some games are starting to do anyway, where you have to solve, mysteries through, newspaper clippings and emails that you get from the actual game.
That's really cool. Yeah. It sounds like a mixture of like a puzzle and a story.
Right.
That's cool.
So would it be something that you would have to, you're at the mercy of when these time frames are, or would you be able to set those time frames ahead of time and just be ready for it like the next day? Because I could imagine someone looking at their phone during a really important meeting at work and just be like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm waiting for a text message.
So, funny story, in that dating game, you don't get a choice. It texts you when it wants to text you.
Okay, so it dictates to you.
It dictates you. I hate that because my children wake themselves up in the middle of the night to play the game, and they all get in my trouble. As many other players did. Like, you're missing out on story if you don't wake up at 3 a.m. for this boy's text. So no, I wouldn't do that. This would actually be like, you'd wake up and there'd be a text from Kira, and you could solve it then.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Okay.
I like that.
Let's move on to our console games, the best games, really, of this entire list.
Yeah, that's why they're not last.
They call it PC Master Race for a reason.
You could have waited till you had the PC to drop that. You could have. Jeremy, what's your console game?
All right, so I made you guys watch a little video beforehand just so you would understand. Picture Outlaw Star as a spaceship Street Fighter game, or even a Dragon Ball Z fighting game, but using the Outlaw Star ships, and they're zooming around, they're punching, they're shooting their guns, they're grappling.
I like the idea of a 3D fighting game more than like a 2D like Street Fighter.
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z has been doing the 3D arenas thing too, where you can fly around and shoot at each other. Just make the arena a lot bigger. And
exactly.
Fire all the missiles.
Yep, I think that would be awesome. Awesome.
Okay, so you have the Outlaw Starship. Obviously, there's going to be a character in it. How do you make other ships that are balanced with it? Do you have your big giant ships, fast ships? What kind of characters are you thinking? Ship characters.
I would pull from some of the different varieties that are shown in the series. I remember just because of watching some of the recap trailers and stuff that there's in the one that I sent you guys, there were 3 ships that were trying to take them on at once, and they were all little ships that could do little things. That's a great idea. Have 3 little ships you're facing. Another one could be one that is the big bad guy at the end. I would think you'd do something like you would for the Gundam games, where because they have Gundam fighting games, and they'll bring in whatever characters that, in the particular anime, they weren't really equal in power with the Gundam pilot, but they just kind of balanced them out for gameplay purposes. Okay. And I would do the same thing.
Awesome.
How would you encourage players to melee when you have things like guns and missiles?
The damage ratio. If you keep the damage ratio down on your guns and missiles, like through shields or other things like that, or make it so hard to land with them, or you have limited ammunition supplies, any of those things could help with that.
Would that stay in flavor of the anime?
I think so. I know that he's always talking about how he's got a certain number of bullets left and stuff in his gun.
Okay.
I can't remember if he says similar things about the ship.
So in the Dragon Ball Z 3D fighting games, physical combat not only does a lot of damage, it also your opponent can't do anything against it. Whereas, like if you're firing a big energy attack, that takes time, and you know they can counter you and move and dodge or block. Whereas if you're attacking them, they're off their guard, and then you can follow up with your combo. So I could see something like that, where like if you're gonna fire missiles, you're having to do a combo to get those to fire, which leaves you vulnerable for a second. So it's actually better to come in and punch them a couple times, stun their ship, and then release your things. They also have quick key blasts, which could be like machine guns, but they do very little damage, and they're really just a long range poke.
Mm-hmm. Do the quick key blasts like stagger them a little bit too?
Yeah.
Like take them out of a combo if they're in it.
Yeah.
That would be good for the machine guns too.
Yeah, I think the concept is done in the Dragon Ball Z fighting games, and I could see just putting the Outlaw Star over it, making the arenas a lot bigger, and you know, so I think it's there.
And I think the thing that makes it funny to me is just the fact that there are ships with arms that punch each other. I mean, it's just you need to have a fighting game with that.
But there better be cat girls.
Oh yeah, you got to be able to pick your pilots, right? Roster.
Jason, what's your game?
My console game would be a Dragon Ball Z based game that was very similar to like a Final Fantasy RPG story that took you along through the DBZ story, but maybe in a different avenue, or maybe rewrite some of it, or take it from a different character's viewpoint, or maybe even a new character. I think that would be really neat to experience it from that kind of style of, traveling along the road, and then, four of cells, little monsters appear and you have to fight them, right? I think that'd be really neat.
Inuyasha had a JRPG like that, where you were an extra character who met the main characters, and you went along with them on this extra story. And it wasn't a great JRPG, but I loved it because I was in that world and being with those characters. So I think Dragon Ball Z would work. Especially
if you could customize the character that you were making. Totally. Make them look the way you want them to. Make them look like you if you want them to. Yeah. That would be really cool. Because I know some people do that.
Maybe not like me. No graphics that high. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh. I guess they wouldn't have to worry about a beard.
Ooh!
Shots fired!
Staggered.
Quick key blast.
Okay, Jason can't do PC.
He took away your master race.
My turn, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I think I can recover here. You guys know the anime Another?
Yes.
No. It is a horror.
That is freaking creepy.
It is a horror anime.
So
this might be a little spoilery, so I hope it's not. But it is about a haunted classroom where an extra student appears in the classroom, and then they start dying in the same style as like Final Destination, where it's like random events start killing them, falling on umbrellas, and it stabs them.
And it's one of the most gruesome scenes.
So I see this as a multiplayer survival horror game where you're all on this big map with like the hotel and the high school, and the map is trying to kill your character, and you're going around trying to find clues that identify who the extra student is, because you have to kill the extra student to end the curse. And then, so you're going around and you're like, oh, look, it has brown hair, everyone. Look, I found a clue that says they have brown hair. Everyone looks at you, you have brown hair. Because the another doesn't know they're the extra person. So it's kind of you kill each other, but the only way to win is to survive and stop the another from existing. you can make some really intense gameplay off of that thing. Plus, like I said, the map itself is trying to kill you. The trees will suddenly fall on you, and it's a randomly generated map every time. So it's not like, oh, make sure you don't walk through that room. It's like, is this room going to kill me?
I like that. This sounds very similar to like it's a variant of Town of Salem, like a Town of Salem or werewolf type game taken to the next level. I like that.
Town of Salem mixed in with like a survival horror Left 4 Dead type game.
That's really cool.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, would you have just like weapons spawn as well, or would it make sense like in the kitchen there's knives? Or
well, it's going to be randomly generated. I think it has to be randomly generated because I think if you learn it, it kind of takes away the horror element when you master it.
Right. So how would you kill each other is the question.
Yeah. Well, there's got to be weapons in the game, right? But
and would there be a time where you can't kill each other, where you have to explore, and then like there's a timer that goes, "Hey, you need to kill each other"?
It's not fully fleshed out, guys. I don't have a week to do this. Calm down.
No, I just really liking your idea. I was just running with it.
Yeah.
No, actually, whenever I started like trying to fully flesh it out, there's definitely some roadblocks like that where I'm like, I'm not sure what's the best way to do that. I think. Could definitely be expanded on, but I don't know if I have the answer yet. There's definitely got to be weapons, but what's the best way? I always have them appear in certain rooms, or just have them go DayZ and like, oh, I opened a drawer and here, oh, here's a shotgun, cool.
I'm gonna become the another and kill everybody.
Well, that kind of spoilers. That's kind of a thing. Like,
oh, is there?
Well, the students all kind of start turning on each other. In that anime, and at the end, they're as much running from each other as they are from the environment, and that's what I want to embrace. That sensation of my friend can kill me, I might need to kill my friend to survive, and also anything in this room could fall on me.
Wow, this sounds like a really crazy anime.
It was good. You should watch
great.
It.
Yeah, if you like Final Destination.
Yeah,
the movie. It's the Final Destination of anime. It's really creepy.
Okay.
Also, the dance scene between the main boy and the main girl in the middle of the classroom is a great anime scene. I love that scene. So now it's time to do the PCs, which has been breaking down on us since we started this podcast. If you notice, my voice probably doesn't sound the same. In the video, I'm standing in my kitchen because computers are awful. Console master race people. Well, we need to finish this episode, so we are pressing on. We apologize for the issues. But, Jeremy, can you please tell us your PC game?
Yes, absolutely. So my PC game is the anime Blue Gender leading up to the events of the anime. So picture XCOM, right? If you've played XCOM, you have a squad-based game, but you're dealing with nothing but mechanized troopers. They all have their armors and stuff. I guess you could have them pop out of the armor. That might be pretty cool. And your squad cycles because this is the last days of humanity trying to survive as the blue is taking over the planet. You don't know that, though. You're in a story trying to defeat the blue, trying to figure out where it's coming from, but eventually it will turn out that you're actually trying to protect the remnants of humanity as they're pushed into orbit off the planet. So I think tactical strategy all the way.
I like that. Is it going to be as hard as XCOM?
Oh yeah. No better way. It will be XCOM plus the Long War mod.
Have you played that yet?
Oh yeah. I haven't beat it, but I've played it. It's really hard.
Jason, what's your PC?
My PC pick was Cabineria the Iron Fortress, but Resident Evil horror style.
Okay.
I'm following along. Keep going.
So instead of picking up, little shreds of ammo, you'd pick up maybe those high-powered rounds that do the piercing, but you'd only get so many. There'd be a lot of running. There'd be a lot of getting from point A to point B. The train would be more of a loading screen. Mm-hmm. And it would just be more of the tactical, but it would be like survival horror. So it'd be like you and maybe one other NPC that probably dies really fast. So it's just you, like in the middle of this facility with lots of like Cabaneri-style zombies coming after you, and you having to like complete an objective and get back to the train.
Would you go VR with it?
Oh man,
I'm not sure if that would work, but that would be an opportunity to explore.
Is the character going to have the opportunity to become a Cabaneri, or you play the whole thing as an normal human?
No, you'd play the whole thing as human.
Okay. Yeah, I think it'd be cool. It's definitely be scary.
Oh yeah, that'd be really cool.
So my PC choice was for Robotech as a real-time strategy along the lines of StarCraft, but I want one fighter to be able to wipe out 100 enemies. So the Zentradi will be like the Zerg, where they can have a ton of, units, but they're very weak. Whereas then you have the humans with their super dimensional fortress, completely obliterating anything they shoot at, but they can only do it once in a long while. It's really just a StarCraft ripoff, but I love the Robotech universe so much that I would pay for it.
Oh yeah, that would be very cool.
That's mine. Any other thoughts, you guys?
For my second pick, I was a PC VR. Actually, I was thinking because we just did Dimension W last week. I was thinking, what if you had a PC VR puzzle game where you were in each level was like a pocket dimension that you had to puzzle figure out to get to the next puzzle dimension to eventually get back into the real world.
Oh,
that'd be cool. Slap some quantum mechanic gobbledygook in there.
Absolutely,
yeah.
But all
VR.
Yeah. So like you would have to use your VR handles to like manipulate objects, and like there could be like scary dimension monsters or the robots that come after you. You have to like hide or fight back or whatever. But mostly puzzle.
And then add in bonus rounds where you take an innocent, young-looking woman and you put her in compromising situations for your own pleasure.
And in some cases, to get from point A to point B, or like up into a really high area, you could jump on top of the back of a Mexican man with rocket pants.
Guys, this has been our mini-sode. We have lost all control. There is no clear definition of going off the rails than where we are right now. I am talking to a microwave with my phone in front of it. We hope that you enjoyed the mini-sode. We would love to hear your ideas for the games or help flesh out our own, because obviously I know I got stuck in a couple places. You can reach us on our Twitter at Baka Podcast or theanimebakaclub at gmail.com. It's all lowercase and all one word. Or leave a comment where you found this podcast, whether it be on YouTube, iTunes, WordPress. We would love to hear from you. And we do love hearing from you guys. Your feedback definitely makes this a lot more fun. So it's time to say goodbye. But Jason just left. Because of course he did. You know what? I don't even care.
Yeah, we should do it anyway.
We're going to say goodbye. Guys, sometimes podcasts fall apart. And you know what? That's okay.
This is a sign of our devotion to you, the listener, the watcher. We will bear through.
We should be all back to normal next week. So thank you for listening.
Yes.
Jeremy and Invisible Jason, say goodbye.
Have a wonderful evening.
Sayonara.